Once again, good morning. Dr. the Honorable Christopher Tufton, Minister of Health, Excellency Sandra Granger, First Lady, Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Mrs. Rima Carmona, former First Lady, Trinidad and Tobago, Honorable Laura Tucker Longsford, Speaker of the National Assembly of Belize and Director of the HCC, Sir George Alleyne, Emeritus Director, Patron of the Healthy Caribbean Coalition, Excellencies, Ambassadors Courtney Rattray and Selwyn Hart, Director Dr. Kaushik Ramaya, and other delegates from the World Diabetes Foundation, Mr. Ed Clark of Sagicor Life, Katie Dane, CEO of the NCD Alliance, directors of the HCC, distinguished delegates, good morning. My name is Trevor Hassell, and it is my tremendous honor and pleasure to welcome you to this Caribbean NCD Forum, sponsored by the World Diabetes Foundation, supported also by HCC's ongoing sponsor, Sagicor Life, and undertaken in association with and support of the Ministry of Health Jamaica, the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, the Diabetes Association of Jamaica, the open campus of the University of the West Indies and CARFA. I also wish to acknowledge support of PAHO and CARICOM Secretariat. And I've quite deliberately gone through that list to give some indication as to the partners that are involved in this initiative. One that requires, as you will hear time and time again, a whole of society approach. 10 years ago, shortly after the Heads of Government Summit on NCDs, the Healthy Caribbean Coalition was established at a meeting in Barbados with the purpose of adding value to civil society's effort in the Caribbean in the response to the epidemic of NCDs. That meeting was attended by many of you present here today. And as James Hospitalis said to me shortly before I came onto the platform, it feels like a reunion. And also, as someone said to me yesterday, when we started the exercise with a bit of a challenge, he reassuringly said, not to worry, we are one family that is gathering here today. That meeting 10 years ago had as its subtext, if you will, a wellness revolution event. We spoke at that time of creating a wellness revolution in the Caribbean, a theme that was strongly supported by Sir George in his call to action at the conclusion of the meeting, which incidentally saw the launch of the Caribbean Civil Society Bridgetown Declaration, tackling the Caribbean epidemic of chronic diseases. Here's Sir George 10 years ago. The wellness revolution requires a fundamental change in paradigm. This will be our challenge moving forward. And the further quote, successful revolutions really start from the base. People armed with the information are the prime movers to mobilize those who go to the barricades. And the quote that I like most of all is the final quote, in which Sir George said 10 years ago, let us go forward, clothed in the armor of social justice and armed with the sword of information. I think that deserves a round of applause. I'm not sure whether or not a wellness revolution has occurred in the Caribbean, but certainly much progress has been made, although so much more remains to be done. And as we come together at what many would consider a pivotal point in the response to the epidemic of NCDs. And so today, we are gathered from across the Caribbean. Virtually every Caribbean country is represented here today by one organization or another. Furthermore, a wide array of organizations are represented, and quite appropriately so, civil society in the blue segment at the bottom is the major representation. So what is the essential goal of the forum? It is to ensure the highest level of regional, political, and civil society support for the third UN high-level meeting. Our meeting objectives are as detailed on the slide, and in the interest of time, I will not go into these one after the other. And here are the significant expected outcomes, all of which are identified in your handouts. Additionally, however, there are several other activities which will be taking place over the next very, very busy 2.5 days. The first of these is the launch of an online petition aimed at supporting the recent call for reduction of childhood obesity by heads of government of CARICOM. I repeat that. This was a call by heads of government of CARICOM that there was a major need to reduce childhood obesity. You'll hear more of the petition over the next 2.5 days, but let me say that I and the organizers hope that everyone will sign the petition, promote the petition widely in your several communities and your respective areas of influence. Since the formation of the HCC, as we have sought to foster and maintain revolutionary zeal of civil society organizations in the Caribbean, it has become increasingly evident that nationally, regionally, and internationally, as was strongly identified in the World Economic Forum in 2013, and more recently at the NCD Finance meeting held in Copenhagen, that there is need for civil society organizations to be appropriately funded if they are to be sustainable and play a meaningful part and role in the multi-sectoral and whole of society effort to prevent and control NCDs. One of the additional events, therefore, that will take place will be a meeting of the board of directors of the HCC, when the issue of sustainable financing of civil society will be a major agenda item. Lastly, at the conclusion of today's program, recognizing that a major challenge hindering the NCD effort has been the failure of really meaningful and effective engagement with the private sector by all of us. This failure is a failure of governments, of public health institutions, of civil society, and the private sector itself to undertake this meaningful engagement. The HCC, as part of technical support provided with the assistance of the Commonwealth Secretariat, will therefore later in the forum will be meeting with heads of national NCD commissions to discuss this very challenging issue. And so as I welcome you all today, I sincerely hope that this will be a very relaxed, enjoyable meeting, that there will be much interaction and information gathering and sharing. The directors, volunteers, and helpers of the HCC have provided a significant amount of background information online, produced a technical document for the forum, and the NCD Alliance has very generously provided critically important additional information of value for all sectors. And I'd like to recognize that in the appropriate way. Thank you, Katie. In an atmosphere then of structured informality, let us then reflect and plan and strategize as we embark on the second decade of the wellness revolution, the second decade of the Healthy Caribbean Coalition. And in doing so, I wish to conclude by sharing with you a quote from Calvin Coolidge, for it reflects well the overarching perspective of the HCC. And I quote, "No enterprise can exist for itself alone. It ministers to some great need. It performs some great service, not for itself, but for others. Or failing therein, it ceases to be profitable and ceases to exist." I thank you very much.